Hello everyone, GenmaTheSamurai here, and I'm here with a bit of a unconventional video. So for those of you who don't know, I am currently working on a big review for Trails to Azure, and it's currently progressing pretty well, but at the same time a bit slower than I expected. I had a few roadblocks, I caught bronchitis, classes have been kind of brutal in the second half of this term, so because of that, I haven't really been able to dedicate 100% of my time to it, and I'm really sorry about that. I don't know if I'm going to get it done this month, but I was thinking that I could do a bit of a different video, and therefore we're doing something unconventional today, and I'm going to be doing a tier list of the Legend of Zelda series. For those of you who don't know, I am a big fan of Legend of Zelda, you can see all that right there. But I decided to do this tier list for funsies because Tears of the Kingdom is coming out, and I'm really curious to see how that game plays out because I definitely have thoughts on Breath of the Wild that you guys will see in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this tier list. It's going to be nice, short, and sweet. Hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, we'll see how you guys think of it. Also, just giving you guys a heads up that you will be hearing some Dragon Ball Z Budokai music early on. I honestly don't know why I put that music on in particular, and it was a bit loud, so you guys will have a timestamp there to skip that if you guys really want to. But regardless, I am really excited to share my thoughts on the Legend of Zelda series, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. Yeah, let's go ahead and just dive into this. So, I'm going to go ahead and just start off with the ones that no one is going to be surprised by. I have the most milquetoast choices for S tier, so we're just going to throw all of them in there. Majora, Ocarina, and where is it? Link Between Worlds. Those three are all S tier. If you've talked to me for any amount of time, you already know this. I love these games a lot. Majora is just really cool and creative. I love the time travel, or not the time travel, but, well, I do like the time travel. But I like the 3-day cycle. I love how the NPCs feel really dynamic and everything, and just the way the whole game is designed is just really cool. Has some of the best dungeons in the entire series. Great game. Ocarina is just solid. I've played that game way too many times. It is like my favorite game to just play if I have literally nothing else to play. And for Link Between Worlds, it's also just a solid as frick game. I mean, I think like everyone who's played that game has liked it. So, I mean, I don't think I really need to explain that one. But if you have not played it, it's really good. In my opinion, it's like Link to the Past, but better in like every single way. They did not include the CDI games in here, but no, I think this is everything. Yeah. I mean, there's like Tingle, which I've not played the Tingle games. I have one. I got it at Momocon. We can do a second list after this. There's like a few that exist out there, but yeah, there's a... I think this is Rosie Rupee Land. I'm gonna start with the original Zelda. I think this is a solid game. Zelda 1 is a solid game. Not my favorite. It has a lot of jank, but I think the exploration can be kind of neat, and being able to do the dungeons in any order is fine. I mean, it's iconic. It's not one of my favorites at all, but it's not bad. So Twilight Princess is one of my favorites. Like, it has some issues. When I revisited it, my biggest problem with Twilight Princess is that the game is like really freaking easy, which applies to most of these games, to be fair. But I think with Twilight Princess, it's like they have all these combat mechanics and everything, but like what keeps it from being S tier to me is just more the fact that like the bosses feel really freaking formulaic and planned out to a degree that they're just not that fun to fight. That's my biggest problem with Twilight Princess. It's like a big like step down from how bosses felt in like Wind Waker and like Ocarina, Majora and stuff. Granted, those weren't hard bosses either, but they just felt better to me. But it's a very cinematic game. I like the story a lot. The dungeons are really solid across the board, especially like from the aesthetics perspective. It's just a good game. I like it a lot. So next on this list, I'm gonna go ahead and put Wind Waker in B tier. Wind Waker is a really good game, especially after I replayed it. Although the Wii U version is hands down the best version. The original is like borderline unplayable to me because of the Triforce Hunt and like just a bunch of other factors. I don't know, the exploration in it I think is kind of the big make or break thing for me. The ocean exploration is really good, but it's just not for me. But it's like fine. I think the game has like a really solid story. Art style is like really freaking cute. I have no issues with the art style. Dungeons are kind of weak. It's like probably my biggest complaint with Wind Waker. I love the dungeons in these games, so like that's a sticking point for me. But yeah, so right now we have Wind Waker here, and we have Twilight Princess right there. Four Swords. If we're talking the anniversary version, like the version that was released on the DSi and then like the 3DS afterwards, if we're talking the anniversary version, I'll put it here. It's a really fun game. I like it quite a bit. I think my biggest problem with it is like it's better with multiplayer. And the original release, you could not play it without multiplayer, which would have put it in D tier. But I think, yeah, it's a fun game. With friends, it's like friendship killing. I'm gonna do a favorite. Oracle of Seasons is A tier, in my opinion. This is like, outside of Link Between Worlds, this is my favorite 2D Zelda. I love exploration in it. It's a lot of fun. It's very nostalgic. It was my first 2D Zelda, but it's just really solid. I think it does a lot of things about that Zelda 1 did, but like better. Yeah, story's kind of whatever, but like that's not the main reason I play some of these games anyway, so. And thank you. Yeah. Oracle of Ages, I'll put it on the same tier, but I do have a little bit more issues with that one, but that's more like a case of preference in terms of exploration. Like, on the overworld, you definitely use the time travel mechanic like a lot more than you would in like Link to the Past, for example. So you kind of hop back and forth, and like to just getting to a place is almost a puzzle in that game. But the dungeons are really solid, and it's really good. I just like the Game Boy aesthetic. Link's Awakening, I think I like that one kind of almost in the middle of these two. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in order there. I really like Link's Awakening a lot. Has like one of my favorite songs. I think it's like my actual favorite song in all of Zelda, like the Ballad of the Windfish. It's like so good. Game is kind of easy, but like honestly, it's just really charming. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I think you might have missed when I said that. I'm gonna make the new Link's Awakening. I'm just gonna say Tears of the Kingdom here is Link's Awakening remake, and no one who watches the video will hear me say that, and then they'll be like, what? Anyway, we'll get to that. There is a very strong distinction between these two versions that I do need to give a disclaimer about. I'm gonna go and talk about it. This could be a potentially controversial take. I don't think it's that controversial, but I'm not a big fan of the Link's Awakening remake. The art style is it's fine. It's not what I would have gone with, but it's fine, I guess. But it is the first Zelda game that I played, and my first thought was, wow, I spent $60 on this. I was not a fan of it. It made a lot of changes, as someone who has played a lot of the original, that I did not like. The original was like $5, like on the eShop for one. But it's like a nice game. You can play it in like a nice like 5 to 10 hour sitting. Just play it, and like it doesn't overstay its welcome. There aren't like too many collectibles. And the Game Boy aesthetic is like really charming and stuff. The music was the most questionable part for me, because like there were some tracks that did a really good job rearranging it, but it kind of did something that was like a pet peeve of mine, where like they just kept retro sounds in some of the song, which just kind of felt weird, because it's like if you're trying to reimagine the original game, it feels like retro, like a weird retro callback, which is bizarre to me, at least in my opinion, from a directing standpoint. I could give a whole list of complaints, but like some of these are nitpicky, some of these aren't so much. But I also feel, in my opinion, again, this one people disagree with me, I think the controls were better in the original. Like having the like extra buttons to pick up things and stuff, that's awesome, but I really would have preferred if the game had like Link Between Worlds analog movement. The fact that it's like rigid 8 directions feels so freaking gross. Yeah, this is like a C tier, I think. Like, this is me being generous. How I feel is probably like a D, but like, it does have good traits, but it's not that good. Moving on from the Game Boy Zelda games, we're encroaching on the spicy ones. very soon. You know what is an underappreciated gem, in my opinion? Four Swords Adventures. I love this game. It's not, like, amazing, but I feel like it's actually really solid. Like, as, like, if you view it in a more arcadey kind of approach to Zelda, it's just a fun game. You just play it, you do a level, the puzzles are fairly solid, and when you play it with friends, it's also very chaotic and friendship ending, but, like, yeah, it's just really solid game. Really underappreciated. So, the DS Zelda games, I would put them in C. Both of them. I'd probably put them pretty high up, though. I think, if you want my exact order here, probably that. Probably. So, when it comes to the Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, they are really, really good games. Just me personally, I don't really vibe with the touch controls. I think that's my biggest problem with it. I'm someone who would rather have motion controls than touch controls. That's me. So when it comes to those two games, that is a big problem, and also I think the dungeons are, like, kind of some of the worst ones in the series. Like, they're not, like, frustrating, but they're, like, super forgettable, with, like, a couple exceptions. I think, like, the Sand Rod is kind of fun to use in, like, Spirit Tracks, and I really do like the Temple of the Ocean King, which is a controversial take, but I really like the time limit there, and I think it creates an interesting, like, oh, you can get through the dungeon faster. Alright, so Zelda 2, look, I kind of want to, for the memes, I could put Zelda 2 S tier, but, like, I'm gonna be real here. It's the most miserable experience I've ever had with a Zelda game. It's just too freaking brutal, man. But you know what, in my heart, it's S tier. Oh, good. Okay, so, yeah, there's Zelda 2. Triforce Heroes. It's... You know why I'm putting it D? When you are playing it with friends, it's a lot of fun. If you can find friends who actually own the game. Single player, it's miserable. It's a game that no one bought, which seriously hurts that type of game. Okay, so now we have Minish Cap. This is a hard one for me to, like, really articulate. Like, it's not at all one of my favorites. The art style is really cool. It's like the only Game Boy Advance Zelda. But, like, and some of the dungeons are kind of cool, I guess. But I do remember the overworld progression sometimes kind of bothered me. Like, the whole mountain stretch between the first and second dungeons was kind of a pain. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this B. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it good enough, like, for it to be, like, an A tier. It has, like, a few things, but it's a good game. To be fair, I played that a lot more recently than some of the others, so, like, I don't know. I haven't played it. Well, I say that as in, first playthrough. This is, like, the most recent. I'm pretty sure. If we don't count Breath of the Wild. Okay, so Breath of the Wild is... that's hard for me. I feel... I'm gonna give full disclosure here. I feel as time has gone on, I've liked Breath of the Wild less. It's a really good game, but it's just the things that it cut from Zelda have bothered me more and more. The overworld stuff is really good. It's probably, like, the only open world game that I've really gotten into, but, like, the Zelda stuff kind of disappoints me. I don't know for sure if I like it less than Wind Waker or not. It's in that same area, but it feels hard for me to actually compare it because of how different it is from, like, the rest of these games. This is purely, like, me, how much I did enjoy playing it back then, putting it here, but it's like, it's so different. I don't hate Breath of the Wild. I feel conflicted by Breath of the Wild, but I don't hate Breath of the Wild. Also in this bubble, in this same bubble, there's, like, 3 games that, like, I feel I could interchange on which one I like more. Which, here's Skyward Sword in here. Skyward Sword has some structural issues. There's just some tedious nonsense this game makes you do. But at the same time, I love the frick out of the motion control combat, and people will kill me for that, but I have a lot of fun with it. And the music is awesome, and the story is probably one of the better ones in the series. But, like, the structure of, like, getting around gets really annoying, which is, like, its biggest problem. But it has some of, like, the best dungeons in the series. But then it also has, like, 5. But then the new version makes a lot of those things better, which just makes... So it's, like... I think I like it more than Wind Waker. I think I like it the best out of those 3, and that might be the most spicy thing I could say here. I think I do. I think I do like Skyward Sword, but those issues are what's keeping it from going into A tier. Just like Twilight Princess's issues keep it from going into S tier. I think that's how I feel about this one. This is the spiciest one here. Link to the Past. It's probably one of the most beloved Zelda games in the entire series, and it's very good. I don't really care for the dungeons in this game. They're fine. They're just like 100% combat focused, which is also somewhat true of Oracle of Seasons. But like, I think Oracle of Seasons had more creative puzzles. Most of what Link to the Past asks you to do is more like lateral thinking, or like maybe where you need to take a key, but that might be like about it. Like where maybe you have to like push a block onto like a switch, but it's more about like figuring out like what part of the dungeon to go back to. But it's more like a gauntlet of fighting things. It's definitely more of a successor to Zelda 1 in that regard. But the story is solid for its time. The music's really good. It's really iconic. It's like the backbone of like every Zelda game after it. I mean, it's definitely not lower than B, but I don't think I'd put it A. It's... I think I'd put it there. Maybe... Yeah, I'd put it there. That is it. Link to the Past fans, find my IP in. I'm more mad about me hating Link to the Past though. And with that, guys, that is the tier list of all of the Legend of Zelda games. So yeah, I definitely had some spicy takes here. But regardless, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Feel free to hit that unsubscribe, that dislike button. I joke. I do think you guys are going to be very respectful about this. But yeah, I definitely love these games, all of them, with like the exception of Zelda 2. I hate Zelda 2. I hate Zelda 2 so much. Don't make me play Zelda 2 again. It's bad. Anyway, aside from Zelda 2 though, I absolutely love the Legend of Zelda series, and this was kind of fun to kind of compare these and put these into these ranks. And really, at the end of the day, every Zelda game is freaking fantastic, and they definitely have their ups and downs. I think it really comes down to preference and what resonates with you the most about the Zelda series, because it is a little more diverse than you would think it would be. But in other places, I definitely prefer the more older games, but I made that clear at this point. Still, if you guys liked the video, I hope you guys did, enjoy hearing my opinions on all of these. And regardless, I might do more tier lists in the future if you guys would like to see that. I don't know. I don't do this stuff very often. And if you guys would like to see more Zelda content, you guys can also let me know, because again, I do love the series, but I have mainly stayed away from it just because it's a bit mainstream, and I feel everyone has kind of said everything that you could say about the Zelda series at this point, and so I kind of feel less inclined to talk about it despite how close it is to me. But if you guys would like to see videos, I'm not against the idea. I'll definitely consider it, so if you guys want to let me know, feel free to do so. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy Tears of the Kingdom when that comes out. If you have not already gotten it seems some people already have. And if you are playing it, hope you guys enjoy it. And I will see you guys in the Trails to Azure review, which will be the next major video. And I don't know if I'll have the time to even play Tears of the Kingdom that much, but we'll see. Classes have been pretty brutal. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye. Okay, Tingle is such a meme. I mean, he has deep lore. He got isekai'd into the Zelda universe, I think. No, the Majora one didn't. In this, he got isekai'd, which... This box art disturbs me. Okay, so... I think I just stared into... I put the box down, like, I was looking at this, I set it down. On its front, I looked down at the box, and what awaited me was something even worse on the back. So we have the front,